You are listening to an all-new episode of the Model Experience podcast, live from the Model House.
The Model Experience is the #1 resource for models. Real models, real stories, real resources.
Visit themodelexperience.net to learn more and be sure to follow us on Instagram at themodelexperience.
Welcome back, guys. This is Rio Summers here at the Model House. You are listening to the Model Experience podcast, and I am going to introduce the special people we have sitting here today. Right here we have Miss Lamaya Good, our super producer.
Super producer.
Good on Ashley.
We have our CEO, Miss Ashley Runway.
Guilty.
Yes. And we have a very, very special guest. We need a drum roll. Miss Nazanin Mandi, but you have a new last name. So
I
let's
do
go
have
ahead and
a-
throw
yes.
that on there.
Pimentel.
Hey, girl.
Say it again. Say it again.
Pimentel.
There we go.
She's somebody's
That's
wife.
right.
Exactly. She's also an amazing actress, singer, model, philanthropist. I can throw it all in there.
Thank
She's
you.
just all
Keep
around.
going.
Yes, girl. You know, that's how I feel with the super producer.
I know.
But she is a great woman. I had the opportunity to work with her 2 years ago now. We were just discussing.
It's crazy. 2 years ago. Like, it feels like it's another lifetime.
It does. But it was a great experience.
So,
and I got to meet
backstory,
her.
the girls were on a show together called The Platinum Live.
Yes.
You probably saw it.
If you didn't, thank God.
Now's the time. Chop, chop.
So thank you for being our guest today.
Oh, thank
We're
you guys for having
very
me. Thank
excited
you.
to have you, especially because of, well, a few things, but your height. Because I
Yeah.
feel like there's so many stigmas about being short, modeling, and then like
Right.
the game's really changing. So I kind of want to focus on that.
Yeah, of
and
course.
Get some feedback on that. How did you get started?
Man, how did I get started? It kind of happened on accident. I was 10 years old and I was actually at In-N-Out with my mom. And a photographer came up to me and was like, and asked me, do you model? And I was just like, well, my mom takes pictures of me, like I do my headshots. And I just said yes. And so he said, well, is your mother here? I want to, talk to your mom. And he spoke with my mom. And before I knew it, I was in downtown shooting catalogs for
Nice.
Wet Seal. Yeah, that's how I got started doing catalog work for Wet Seal. And then I went out for this modeling competition that Echo Unlimited was having. And it was a nationwide search for the new face of Echo Unlimited.
Wow.
So I was like, let's go. This could be fun. I think I was 14, I think. So they picked one girl from every state, and I was picked from California, and I ended up winning the whole thing.
What?
So
Okay.
yeah, it was amazing.
It was fame.
It was amazing. So that's kind of how things really started, and I continued doing catalog work. But I also found it very difficult to book work because of my height. I'm 5'3", 5'4", depending on how big my hair is that day, how much I can get away with. Right.
Who's asking?
Right, exactly. Who's asking? So yeah, it's when it comes to height, and what I had to learn over the years is you have to find your niche.
That's what I was just going to ask you. Literally.
Yeah, you got to be smart. Am I going to get booked for the runway stuff? Absolutely not. Like, I'm 5'3".
But you have done.
I have actually. For Echo, I did runway. I've done like a few things, but I mean, it's not a career.
I don't know, girl. I feel like the industry's changing. Like, you're seeing
has.
a lot more like plus size models, like under traditional height models.
Absolutely.
So you might be able to hit this.
I
one
might,
again.
if I try again, maybe. But from when I started, they were very traditional.
Right. Exactly.
And social media has changed a lot when it comes to every industry, in my opinion.
Right.
It
It has changed the
whole
business in
game.
general. Yeah.
It's like now when you go to castings, you do your thing, and they're like, "So how many followers do you have?"
Right.
So exactly, like they're like,
Even if
"So."
that happens
It's a
to
part
you.
of the business almost.
They don't ask me directly. They'll ask my agent.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
no. They'll like get all my stats from my
Yeah.
agent, and it's so crazy and it's so different than
And
how
it's
it
so
used to be.
interesting, though, you mentioned that you started in a traditional business. So how did you find, because it's almost harder in a traditional business because now it's a lot more accepting.
Right.
How did you find your niche with where you felt like you belonged? Like, how did you start to carve that out? How did you start to recognize, I guess, where you fit in?
It's about studying the times and being open to the new. You know,
Yeah.
if you want to excel, if you want longevity, you kind of have to be open to what's happening right now, but still remaining true to yourself. And
We preach this all the time.
yeah, it's just so important. It's like you see, you know, women on social media that have huge followings, which is great. Shit,
Right.
great for you. But like, I just hope that it's genuine and you're being yourself,
Right.
you know? Because at the end of the day, like, let's be honest, like, this stuff isn't going to last forever.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, it's just not. Everything reaches its peak and everything falls at some point,
So
right?
you just do what feels good to you and what
Abs-
you're drawn to.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just really important to, through it all, be flexible in your approach, but really remain yourself at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You know, because that's really what's going to,
100%.
yeah, that's what's going to give you longevity,
Right.
really.
So you've been really, really successful, obviously. What is the best industry advice you've gotten?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, there's a few things, but as cliche as it sounds, and I always keep this in mind, because in this industry you hear more no's than yeses, right?
Right.
Like, it's
Yeah.
just like the name of the game. Like, you're not going to book every acting gig, you're not going to book every kid. You're just not. Like,
Right.
you're
It's
not.
just every job.
You know,
Sorry.
even you put out music, it's a hit or a miss. Like, it's just the reality of the business. So, as cliche as it sounds, when one door closes, another one opens. And it's
Who gave you that advice? Who said that one?
you know,
Like,
I've
do
heard
you
this
remember?
most of my life.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't really remember specifically who it was, but it's something that has always stuck with me, because I'm like, this didn't work out. When I don't book something, I'm always like, well, this didn't work out for a reason.
And that's
Yeah.
the industry. I think when you grow up in it, because I started really young as well, that's
Yeah.
kind of like the motto. I guess
It
our
is.
parents, when they're not forcing it on us like that, they're kind of
Yes.
just like, it just wasn't it, babe.
Right.
The next one, you kind of get used to that. But
You
I
do.
feel like it really set you up for life.
It did, for life, with everything, actually.
Yeah.
It's like, I know if I did it, and now looking back, I'm like, oh, I didn't book those things because this happened.
See?
Right? And like,
Hindsight.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so I always, even if I'm bummed or I'm like, I should have booked that, I was good for that, I did my best, it wasn't meant to happen.
Yeah, it is
And
what
there
it
is a reason behind that. Always remember, there's a reason. So,
Sure.
yeah.
So you are shooting very frequently. Do you
Yeah.
have any tips for being on camera? Anything you do to like prepare?
Any
before?
tips for being, you know what, I always try and stay ready, to be honest with you. It helps with my anxiety, because if I have to try and get ready last minute,
Yeah.
And during the show, I think you had a photo shoot coming up or something. She was definitely like getting it right. She's like, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing this. The
no,
shot.
nothing. Like, I work out 5 days a week.
Yeah.
So I'm maintaining that.
Mm-hmm.
If I have a shoot coming up, the only thing that really changes is I'm more strict with my diet. So if I don't have a shoot, I'm a little more lenient. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll cheat and like have that, or like, I'll try this. But if a shoot's coming up, like, no, there's not even like.
You were like drill sergeant.
Yeah.
We were just
Yeah,
like, no, these next 3 days.
I'm like, this is gonna be on
absolutely nothing.
television.
Are you not gonna?
No,
Yeah.
I'm not doing
Is it
it.
easy for you to stay disciplined?
Yeah, I'm a very disciplined person.
Nice.
I thrive off of discipline.
Nice.
If I don't have structure or discipline,
Crazy.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like crazy.
Crazy town. Speaking of crazy town, so if you had to say 3 very big no-nos that you've learned in this industry,
Okay.
like give me top 3. Just don't do it. Breaking into the business, being in the business.
3 no-nos.
Yeah, 3 no-nos. Like, just
Ooh.
don't do it.
You know what? Something that I've never done is try and downplay somebody else to make me look better.
Thank you.
That is so counterproductive, and that says more about you
For
than
sure.
the other person.
Isn't that crazy? It's like a deflection.
Why don't people get that?
Right, when you hear somebody talking crazy, you're like, it just, okay.
But what's wrong with you?
Right.
Why are you talking like that? Like, I've never, in order for me to get a job, like, I've never put anybody down.
Yeah.
I've never said, like, oh no, don't, or like,
That's a great no-no.
don't do that. Don't, because it is such a bad representation of yourself.
It is, and it's such a big game. It's such a big world. What's right for you is right for you.
There, it goes back to what's meant to be is meant to be yours. And I just feel it's important that you also, here's another no-no, is comparing yourself to other people.
That's a really good one.
It's always been really hard for me too.
It's very difficult. No, I think we've all done it. Like, this is something that's so normal, especially now again with social media. You're on there scrolling and you're just like, dang, that person looked that, or they look amazing, but I don't look like that. Or like, it's so easy
to compare.
It's easy to compare. Don't do that. Don't. We're
That's
all.
a big no-no. These are good no-nos.
It's a big, very big no-no.
Give us one more. These are great for our listeners.
I'm listening.
Don't accept anything that, what is the word?
Like, doesn't sit right with your...
That is the word, compromises your integrity.
There we go.
Okay,
Yeah.
that compromises your integrity or antagonizes your soul. Do not pick things that you are going to regret later in life.
We always tell our listeners, every opportunity is not the best opportunity.
Exactly. Not all money is good money. You might need the check now, but hold off. You're gonna get it. Like, I can't preach that enough. If you don't actually use the product, don't promote the product.
Right. Somebody's social media now, the minute you're using something else, they're gonna be like, she don't even use that. Or it's always like, it's just too much work.
Don't promote something you're not gonna use. Like, that's not fair to your audience. That's not fair to the consumer. It's just not fair to the brand. It's not fair to anybody. It's not fair to yourself because you look like a cop-out. Just that's not...
Cop-out, sellout.
Just don't promote something you wouldn't actually use.
These are good
or
no-nos.
something that's going to antagonize your spirit or your soul or going to keep you up at night,
So what advice would you give an aspiring model?
What would I give an aspiring model? There's so much advice. Do
we need to put a number on it?
I mean, it's so much, but it's really, first of all, finding the right people to have around you. Who you have around you really sets the tone for who you are. The right team can really take you places. And you're going to go through a few no's to find the yes. It's kind of the nature of the game. Making sure that you're always ready.
Yeah.
Because those castings come out of nowhere. And you're just like, oh shit, like I need to work out, I need to eat right. No, just make it a lifestyle.
Right.
You got to make those things a lifestyle if you want this to be your life.
And having a strong portfolio. Right? Like making sure that's ready to go.
Absolutely. And I think now what I've noticed is a lot of models love this like overly glam.
Right.
Overly Photoshop, overly Facetune.
Yeah. And now it's more about
a good representation.
Yeah.
Right. It's like you don't need all that. Make sure that your portfolio is clean. Make sure you have the less is more mentality when you're putting your book together, because that's so important.
Yeah, you want to present what you're actually giving the client. It's
right.
Like, this is what it is, blank canvas, as close as you can get with enhancing your natural beauty. But
exactly.
It's always important for the client to see, what am I actually getting?
Well, am I going to see the same person walk into the room
right.
that I'm looking at right here,
I have a confession. I booked a model once before, just based off like the photos that I saw, and when they arrived,
it was nothing.
And I had to send them home, and I felt terrible.
Yeah, you even changed the whole process of submissions and stuff. It's more like you have to have that natural...
It happens more than we think.
I know.
I've worked with companies that have sent the models home because and they've flown them overseas. Like, it is like a thing.
Yeah.
They don't look the same.
No, you have to
that's not fair.
It's not. Yeah. You have to go all the way to videos nowadays. Let's FaceTime.
Exactly. Let's FaceTime.
Watch the Instagram lives.
Right. But I do have one more piece of advice, actually. Branding is so important. Oh, you're getting that. Okay.
No, this is great.
It's so important nowadays. Like, you got to know your direction, right? You got to know where you're going.
Right.
so you can get there.
Right.
Like I just
when you
have a plan.
It's like you're going somewhere without a map when you don't know what your brand is.
Right. Exactly. So it's just really important.
Great analogy.
Right. I love that. I love it. It's so true. Like the brand now, it's so relevant more than ever. You could be an actor, but it's like, okay, so what else do you do?
Right.
What else are you, do you sing? Do you design? What else do you do? Because now it's about the brand. It's not about solely the talent.
And it's so different. That's how, when we grew up and it was like really just the
talent.
Nowadays, it really is about the brand.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm just not with the
No, it's either for you or it's not for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's really tough. Like,
it is.
It's really, really tough to make those adjustments and decisions. Like, no, but I am an actor. And
Right.
I take this seriously. Like, I get that.
But
I
you've
get
done a great
it.
job, I mean, maintaining your brand. I feel like
Thank you.
as far as, especially like your IG, everything is consistent.
Thank you.
You know what to expect. You know what you're not going to do. I know there's probably brands that like, don't even reach out because she ain't going to be showing
No.
She ain't going to be doing all the rest of stuff. Like,
Sometimes my manager will send me emails just to like just
laugh.
for like shits and giggles and be like, she's like, I know this is a no, but I'm gonna send
you just have to see what came in for you today.
Just want you to see this. But yeah, branding is very, very important. Yeah.
So I know you're on camera, like you act,
Yeah.
you know, you're model. Do you have any on-camera tips for your
Oh,
models?
yeah, of course. Ladies, you gotta study your angles. Like you have to.
She's like feeling herself right now. She says this all the time.
Yes,
She always
no,
says
you
this.
have to. Like, I remember being 5 or 6 and sitting in front of the mirror and like practicing. No joke.
Yep.
Like practicing
The lines.
what looks good, what doesn't, like poses, and it's just so important to know what looks good on you. So when you go on set, you're shooting
Ready
with
to
this,
go.
right? Because no one's got time to sit there for 10 hours and while you're trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Right.
You guys are hearing this over and over again. I hope you guys understand. With all the successful people that we brought in, these are some things that are not going to change. So get it through your-
No. You gotta know what works
Yeah.
for you. I feel like that's so important, you know, because we all have a better side.
Yeah.
We all
We all have a good
prefer
side.
a certain pose. You know, it's just, you gotta study.
Find your go-tos.
Yes,
Do
yeah.
you ever get self-conscious during your shoots? Like,
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Oh my
battle
God.
this.
It's mental.
Yeah.
You have to tell yourself, I'm here for a reason.
Right.
And if I wasn't good enough to do this, they wouldn't have booked me for this job.
Right.
So all of those insecurities, like I'm like, oh God, like I'm gonna be really. This is very honest right now.
Get real honest.
I don't know what it is, but if I book a bikini shoot, somehow I get my period. Somehow it just happens. I'm like, really?
Yeah. Same day, really? Okay.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, cool.
Oh, that's a reason to be a little self-conscious.
Yes, it does. I don't, or any big shoot like a video.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I just shot my video, music video.
Hey.
And, yeah, and good morning, and like
Yours is event-driven.
right. It's totally like
Feel bad when you get
anxiety.
pregnant. It's not gonna know what to do. Like,
Oh,
it's
I know.
over.
So that's something that I've like had to battle, like
Yeah.
the bloat, or like you just feel so
Crazy.
crazy. You're just like, I'm tired, I'm sluggish, and
Girl, I have not seen a bloated bikini picture of you, so you
well,
can
thank
if you
you.
were, I don't know.
And I was stalking, okay?
Thank you so much. But yes, I do get my moments, like, you know, and then
Yeah.
some days like other things are happening and you know, you're battling stuff that's in your head too. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like we
It's
all
true.
have lives. We all
Yeah,
have,
life happens.
right, life happens.
Right.
Like you get in an argument with your man or your friend
Right,
or like
and it's just
whatever.
like,
Yeah.
You know, shit happens. And it's, you got to
Shit
battle
happens.
those too. So
So speaking of battling things, how do you deal with rejection? That's like one
Yeah.
thing that I know.
Oh.
Many of the listeners.
with rejection, let's say I don't book a role. I will ask my agent to ask the casting director, do they have notes?
Yeah, that's
Yeah, like I want to know what I did wrong so I can fix it.
Or if you didn't do anything wrong at all.
Right,
Sometimes
and it's just the look.
Simply a choice, and that's the great thing about getting that advice
Right.
or having them reach out. What's the feedback?
The feedback, exactly. I'm always asking for the feedback, good
That's
or
a really
bad,
good point,
because and you have to be secure within yourself to take in that feedback and do something about it.
Right.
So that's where I'm at right now, like with acting, and luckily, because I've been in class so much, that now the feedback is we just wanted somebody, like we needed somebody 5'8", or we needed.
And that's a great place to
I
be.
know, and
That's
I'm
a
really
great
grateful
place
for
to be.
that.
So you
at this
still
point.
take acting classes?
Oh yeah,
Amazing.
yeah. I feel like for anybody in the entertainment industry, classes are so important.
Absolutely.
Great.
It's your gym.
Yeah,
Like,
it's your gym.
right. Like for me, like acting classes is my acting gym. Like I need to stay strong and I need to
Work
stay
those
flexible.
chops, yeah.
Work those chops because you get rusty.
You do.
You do. Like no, you really
I
do.
can tell you firsthand. I'm like,
Yeah.
and then it goes back to your, if you stay ready, you don't got to get ready.
Exactly.
Yeah, sure.
Like if I'm not in class at least 3 times a week, like running lines, I notice I don't memorize them as well, or I'm second guessing, or I'm not listening to the other person in the scene.
You're just, yeah.
I'm anticipating what I'm going to say.
Anticipating, yeah.
And you can't do that. It's like, it's so bad. You just can't do that. So, yeah.
Okay, so we want to know, well, I'm sure what everybody wants to
Yes.
know, the Young and the Restless.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, can you tell us more? What can you tell us
Oh,
about?
no, I can tell you.
Okay, you tell us. Okay, this is
No, I can
secret
tell you.
staff. Tell us who you are.
Okay, so I actually play myself on the show. They brought me on as a model that is deciding if she wants to work for this beauty brand. But they kept my name, which I
What?
thought was
This is
great.
so cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. It gives the audience, first of all, a chance to learn how to pronounce my name properly.
Right. Yes,
So that was great. I loved it. But yeah, I play myself, but pumped up like 10 times.
yeah, I was like, well, how do you play yourself? How is that? Is that?
Yeah.
It's pumped up.
So, like, give me a pumped up moment.
Like in the
what would
first,
be?
that
Like my
moment?
opening line is like, well, I'm used to this life. I'm a jet setter. I
Right.
would not ever say
Sounds like
that.
kind of life.
Right. But like, I just normally wouldn't say that.
That was like our battle the whole time. Just saying stuff that
I
we just did.
know.
We were like,
no, it was
say
so.
that. Yeah, it was so uncomfortable.
And it was like trying to find the middle ground of fine. I'll say something like that.
We have so many days like that.
I don't know.
You'd just be like, I can give you a piece of what I can do. It was negotiations.
Always negotiations every day.
What I
And
can't
then
do.
we would break them down. And
We
they're
did.
Like,
We
fine.
did. That's why they. Well, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure that's why they had a lot of breaker downers.
We broke them down.
We did. What I can do for you today.
Yes, exactly.
I'm at the table.
Okay, so you have all these really, really cool things going on. You have a cool name, a
Yes.
cool life, cool career. Tell me a cool ring. Like I'm seeing it all.
Oh yes, wait, I didn't get to see the ring.
You haven't seen it?
Oh girl, wait, how did I not? It is
Yeah.
gorgeous.
Thank you guys.
Oh, he did
So,
He did very good.
tell me, what is a typical day in the life of Nas?
Oh, okay. I love to get up at like 5 in the morning.
Oh, girl.
I'm
What's
a-
that?
I love
You're gonna be a
it.
great mommy.
I love to get up that early because I like to watch the sunrise. It's like the most calming time for me.
That's yeah.
And I'm like 2 hours to have my coffee because I need my coffee. Like
For sure.
I need it or I'm gonna like lose my
So
mind.
you're one of those people.
Yes.
Coffee first.
Coffee first,
First
then
coffee.
emails.
Okay.
And then between like 5 and 7 a.m., I'm emailing, I'm making my list for the day, or sending it to my manager, like this needs to get done today. Where are we with this?
That's great.
Um,
Setting your intention for the day.
Absolutely. And then from there, I will either have a Skype acting class in the morning, and then after that is the gym. And then if I have a shoot that day or I'm filming that day, that
That's-
follows.
yes.
Yeah. But in between all of that, it's like making, my husband breakfast,
Yes.
making sure he's okay, feeding the cats.
Right. The balance. The work-life
The balance, making sure the laundry's done because nobody else is gonna do it but me. So I like,
No, it's great. It's all about work-life balance.
and balance,
you know?
absolutely. And I enjoy that. I enjoy finding that balance because it's fulfilling for me.
Yeah.
Taking care of him is fulfilling for me, but taking care of myself is as well. So
Yeah.
it's really my finding that balance and purpose for me.
It's a great combo.
Yeah,
Once you got it down, it's like, okay.
Once you have it down, and it's not easy.
I
to
know.
start.
Finding that.
Oh
But I
my
think
God.
you said the most important thing is kind of waking up in the morning early before all the chaos starts.
Yes.
Setting your attention and really just taking that moment. And I think for most people they could really benefit
No.
from that
Big
advice.
time.
Get up in the morning
Get
and take
up
a
and-
minute for yourself.
Yeah, because I know he records pretty much all night, right? So it's like he's gonna sleep.
You know
I know you know this. So he's gonna sleep till he actually gets up for his recording all night. He gets up pretty early.
They do. I don't
I know.
understand. They can function off of like
They can.
2 hours.
It's
It's crazy.
it's that lifestyle.
But like normal. Like it's
Yeah.
just normal.
Yeah, like 7:30.
Yeah.
He's like,
And I'm like,
yeah,
do you want to get it? Okay.
yeah. No, it's the same thing over here. Like
Yeah.
they just function that way. So I know between 5 and like 7, I have that like.
It's like, so all that to say, while he's sleeping, I do that me time.
yeah.
No,
I'll
it's
read.
true.
I love to read.
It's true. Me too.
Yeah, I love to like my self-help books or like story, just anything that's gonna get the mind going. I like love to do in the morning. So
Yeah.
Out of curiosity though,
Yeah.
how long are you in the gym for and what do you do?
no more than like an hour 15.
Okay.
I can't be like, and that's like pushing it.
Yeah.
Like I get in
You
there.
get a strong 45.
Yeah,
what I was thinking.
yeah.
Okay.
Like, who needs to be in there 2-3 hours a day? Like,
Right.
who has time?
Unless you're a bodybuilder, right?
Yeah, unless you're a personal
Yeah.
trainer, like a bodybuilder, absolutely, like duh, that's your life. But no, I can't do it.
I'm a strong 45 girl.
Me too, same.
Baby.
Someone told me they were like, if you can't get a good workout in within 45 minutes, like what the hell are you doing?
They're right.
That's true.
No, what are you doing?
Yeah.
2-3 hours is like my whole day's gone.
Yeah. And like, are you hungry by then? I don't
Right.
understand.
Miserable as hell.
Right. It's like, I need a meal.
Well, thank you, girl, because I had to ask.
No,
I was like
no.
creeping on Instagram. I'm like, oh, let me ask her what she does.
Girl.
You mentioned something earlier. I don't know if I can bring it up, but I'm going to. The podcast. Your
Yes.
podcast.
Oh, you can bring it up. No, it's totally fine.
starting a podcast.
Yes. So, thank you. My cousin and I, her name's Nadia. Lamaya knows her.
I love that.
Yes. We have our own podcast coming out.
Amazing.
What is this, Messy Mandy and...
No, well, we're going to keep it contained, kind of. We're going to try.
Why
No,
would you?
we're going to be we have to be professional in some point,
I'm trying to picture it because you guys have to understand Nadia.
She's-
But when you're with Nadia, your whole like,
Right,
yeah.
it's totally different.
Yeah.
Like, she brings out, like, the wild
So
side.
what's gonna be like the format or basis?
It's,
Like what
it's
do you...
called Ladies Like Us, and it's a podcast of everything feminine.
Everything
so,
woman. Okay.
everything woman related. It's like relationships, friendships, plastic surgery. How long is too long to wait for the ring? Like,
Right.
I waited 10 years. You know what I mean? Like, no. And she was with someone for 11 years, and he
Yeah,
broke up
I
with her.
remember- oh, yeah.
Remember during the show? Yeah. So, like, we're coming from a very honest, real place.
Standpoint.
Yeah.
I'm excited about
It's gonna be really good. So we premiered June 18th. So
Yes.
Congratulations.
So it's congratulations.
Yes.
She's so funny.
She's
Oh my God.
hilarious, like one of the funniest.
Yeah,
people I've
she
ever
definitely brings a lot of light to the room. She
Absolutely. Yeah, she's a good time.
Well, thank you for all of your knowledge today.
Oh,
We
of course.
appreciate
I
you
hope it
sharing.
helps. Like,
Yeah, no,
I'm
you shared a
amazing.
lot of
Okay.
really good gems.
Good.
And great that you kind of reiterated some of the stuff too that we've been trying to get across. It's good to hear it from
Good.
experts, people who've been doing it. Yeah, we really appreciate
Amazing.
it.
I had an amazing time. You guys are awesome.
Keep killing it, girl.
Thank
And tell
you
us where to
so
find you really quick.
Yeah.
Oh, Instagram is Nazanin Mandi. Super simple.
There you have
And
it.
now you'll know how to spell it because Young and the Restless, you know how to say
Oh
it.
yeah, you know how to
spell it.
say it, everything. So
No excuse,
yeah.
y'all. No excuse.
Yes. Thank you
Yes.
so much.
Oh, thank you guys. Yay.
If you're a new model looking to take your career and portfolio to the next level, visit themodelexperience.net.